Hi, everyone. It is amazing to be with you all, even if it's by video. And I'm really grateful to be here and thankful to Gil for coming up with the idea and thankful to Ryan for helping making it happen. So 10 years, 10 years. Can you guys believe it? Congratulations to all of us. It's amazing. My role in this, as many of you already know, but I'll retell the story, is goes back to 2004, of course, and it started when the PSOE Zapatero won the election here in Spain, and I thought, my God, if they can make a change, if they can go from Aznar to Zapatero, well, then we can go to Bush to a Democrat. And that very night, I went online and looked to see if there was some sort of organization connected with the Democratic Party abroad, and I indeed found Democrats abroad. And so I signed up and said, I'll do whatever it takes. Tell me what I can do from here in Madrid. And then shortly afterwards, I got a notice for a meeting. And Christian Sojanen came out to Madrid in May of 2004. And I'd say there was somewhere around 80 of us at this meeting. We all started off drinking lots of beer and complaining about Bush and how disgusted we were with the image of the United States after those nearly 4 years of his being in office, and that something needed to be done. And you could really feel the anger, and especially when we moved into the meeting part of the meeting and left the drinks behind, and it was, I remember it was a pretty warm evening, and you could just really feel it in there. And when it came to the part where they needed to have someone to volunteer to run this thing, I thought, well, gosh, I've done nonprofit work forever. If there's anything I know how to do, I know how to build up a group of activists. And so I nudged my new friend Jen McCarthy and said, nominate me, and she did. And since no one else was interested in stepping up to the challenge, I kind of became president by default that night. And it was certainly an amazing moment for me. And from there we kind of just ran it by the seat of our pants. I mean, this was May of 2004, and we had an election in November. They handed me a list of about 50 people, and it was on Excel, and I would just cut and paste all those names into my Yahoo account and mail that out for meetings. James Ross was my vice president. He's since moved back to the United States. Melissa Crane was our treasurer. She ended up dropping out, not really going back to the United States before the election, and that was when I recruited Dean Janone to get involved. We're thrilled to have his experience on board. And yeah, we also worked with the folks from Americans Abroad for Carrie, Ken Dubin, Juan Verde, and we all kind of just made it through the election somehow. It was a pretty depressing experience that day, losing the election. But what we had really done, and you look back at it, what we had really done was get Democrats abroad in Spain off to a healthy start. And even though 2005 was one tough year, even though we formalized a more fuller board of directors here in Madrid, bringing on Sue Burke and a few others, it was really hard to get people out to meetings. And so we focused on a lot of social stuff rather than having people come together and just cry into their beers. We were trying to find more positive ways to get people involved. And thank God things got better, and Howard Dean came in as president of the party, chair of the party, and we had the big wins in 2006, which really helped build momentum for the party. And we all know that 2008 was critical. The primaries, having Democrats abroad primaries, nearly doubled our membership. So I always felt pretty happy that when I started in Madrid, we had about 50 members here and about 50 in Barcelona. And after I left as national chair, we had about 3,000, and I think that's quite an achievement for the organization, because it really gets at our mission, which is electing more Democrats, and the only way we do that is through votes and people. So this organization, like all activist organizations, it's about people, it's about relationships, it's about connecting through our shared values. And I think it's so important that we sometimes sit back and reflect on that and think about its importance. I did a session with Madrid a couple years ago about sharing personal stories which I think is critical. It was a best practice in both Obama campaigns, and I'd urge everyone to continue thinking about ways to do that and working that into meetings and activities. I'd also urge you guys to just, as you're forging forward towards November of this year, I mean, this is going to be one tough election. Democrats don't normally do well in midterms. We've got, Obama's got pretty low poll numbers. The Republicans are energized despite their divisions, and we're not doing very well. The Hispanics are not very motivated. So it's going to be tough. But Democrats abroad then becomes more important than ever in getting out votes that no one at home is going to get out. And so I would just urge you all to just keep the mission in mind as you move forward. Every time, every activity you're thinking of doing, measure it up against the mission. We need to get more Democrats elected. So any activity needs to be towards that end between now and then. Later on, we can come up with new things. I look forward to seeing what you guys are up to in the coming months and helping out however I can. Have a fabulous weekend. Big congratulations to everyone on a very well done job. Thank you. Bye.